My name is Wambui Gaitho. I'm a mother, I'm an educator, I'm a womanist, activist, some people would call me. And been asked to comment on the terminology house Negro. Little historical background, it's a term that arose out of United States, southern United States. And it's based on the fact that those who worked in the home, inside the home with the slave owners, were very protective of the master and worked very hard to make sure that the field Negroes stayed in their place, and actually sometimes, to quote a Kenyan saying, that they would drink bush for other people's fever, meaning they were more bereaved than the master in a lot of situations. In terms of applying this phrase to the Canadian politics or the Canadian social landscape, it's definitely very applicable. Canada is not the saintly country we think it is. Canada has a history of slavery. And so what has happened is that now, of course, slavery has moved into the institutions, so we have corporate slavery. In keeping with that, we still have masters. They may not be slave owners, but they have more or less the same positions. And what they need to do is have people who are gatekeepers, hence the house Negroes in Canada, where you'd have people who are vehement about the lack of racism in Canadian society, and of course those of us who've experienced it are wondering which other planet they could have been occupying. In terms of, for example, I'll say that as an educator, I know I've had many fights within the board that I work for, as they try to say, no, we're not racist. And so my question is, if you're a part of the Canadian society, you're one of the microcosms that make up the society at large, and it's a society where racism is a thread that's woven through, how can you not have aspects of racism? And in situations like that, what happens is those institutions will take one person, a black person, and decide that they're going to vet everything they do by them. And if for them they're comfortable, then it means they're not racist. And this is also based on the whole burden of race representation. Because the black people, if one person does something, the whole race either pays for it or gets the accolades. So if you want to use a case in point, you know, the world is one because a black man is in the White House. And so everybody then points at Obama to say, look how far we've come. Look how far blacks have made it. And it is a term that's appropriate to be used because it's a political term. Nothing wrong with saying somebody is a house Negro. And if it's used in the proper political context, can be used by anybody as long as they're using it in the proper context.
Even a white person?
Yes, because we have to be ready for the criticism. If you're going to put yourself out there to represent the race, then you better be ready for the criticism, regardless of where it's coming from.